Straight ahead on 12 News Weekend, staying active even in retirement.
Intellectually, it's still very stimulating.
How baby boomers are finding meaningful part-time work. Plus, what the Plymouth police chief calls a staggering number of DWI arrests and the place where the most offenders appear to be coming from. But first, a building boom ready to pick up speed in Brooklyn Park.
We expect very high-quality jobs and high-quality buildings.
12 News Weekend starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us on 12 News Weekend. I'm Shannon Slatton.
And I'm Mike Johnson. A significant piece to the Highway 610 building boom puzzle is taking shape. Brooklyn Park is reviewing plans for a business park on more than 200 acres of farmland near Highways 169 and 610. It's a proposal that would mean a lot of construction and potentially a lot of job creation. It's a big piece of farmland known for the past several years as the home of the Twin Cities corn maze, but there will be changes coming to the property along Highway 169 and 109th Avenue.
Office, warehouse, light manufacturing type uses.
Brooklyn Park's Planning Commission recommended zoning changes that would pave the way for a light industrial business park.
This property is 227 acres.
Marty Harstad's family has owned the property for 25 years. He says land for light industrial use is getting harder to find.
What happens is the companies have to go further and further out in order to find available land for this particular type of use. But the further out they get, the less employment base they have to draw off of.
Preliminary concept plans call for putting up 17 buildings. It's not known, though, which companies would move in.
Medical technology is, it can run the whole spectrum.
But Harstad in the city hopes it will attract companies moving to Brooklyn Park and be a magnet for good jobs.
There could be 3,000 to 4,000 people could be working on that particular. It could be more. You never quite know. We don't have a crystal ball that shows exactly what will go there, but we expect very high-quality jobs and high-quality buildings.
For Brooklyn Park, it's an important development area just off the 610 corridor and right along Highway 169.
It's our next area that is able to be developed. We just need to extend some sanitary sewer lines to the site, which would be done sometime later this summer, and development would take place over several years, but it's kind of the next emerging area for development.
This is the same site FedEx wanted to build on last year, but the city council said no because there would be too much traffic and not enough good jobs. Harstad says the latest proposal is already getting attention.
We've had a lot of interest from a lot of different companies.
And Harstad says if the city council approves the project, construction could begin this summer.
And that's not all taking shape in northern Brooklyn Park. Pending city approval, construction will begin this year on a luxury apartment complex close to Highway 610. The so-called 610 West Apartments would be the first upscale apartment complex built in the city since 1992. The developer Doran Companies would rely on tax incentives from the city to help fund the project.
And jobs are also top of mind in Plymouth. During her State of the City address, Plymouth Mayor Kelly Slavic expects 2,500 new jobs in the city this year. Slavic says developers and the Wayzata School District are making sizable investments. MnDOT will also start work on adding a lane to ease congestion on a 6-mile stretch of Interstate 494. Meanwhile, Plymouth is putting restrictions on a popular bar in an effort to crack down on drunken driving cases and other police incidents. According to Plymouth Police, a higher number of DWI arrests are linked to customers coming from Cowboy Jack's. Management at Cowboy Jack's says it isn't necessarily fair to punish the bar for the actions of patrons once they leave.
We can have somebody walk through the door acting very normal and talking just fine, and they might have just had, a half a bottle of vodka someplace.
Cowboy Jack's is the only bar in Plymouth that stays open until 2 a.m. Under the restrictions, Cowboy Jack's cannot have 3 police incidents in 3 months. Otherwise, it could lose its liquor license.
In our weekend review, 14 former General Mills employees have filed suit against the company, accusing it of age discrimination. According to the attorney for the plaintiffs, of the workers who were terminated during a round of layoffs in 2012, more than 80% were age 40 or more. The suit also claims that some of the positions with people laid off were eventually filled with new hires who were younger. General Mills did release a statement saying it stands by its employment decisions. The Robbinsdale School District is expected to take over ownership of the Fair School in Crystal, which serves students in grades 4 through 8. The change was approved this week, but state lawmakers must sign off on the move. The Fair School focuses on the arts and was originally set up to integrate racially diverse students. The Crystal School is expected to operate as is for the next 5 years. After that, it's uncertain. And TCF Bank employees heading to their new Plymouth worksite will soon have bus service from downtown Minneapolis. The Plymouth Council voted to approve additional Metrolink bus routes to serve reverse commuters. TCF polled the 1,600 employees moving to the Plymouth location, and they found that more than 250 of them would take public transit if offered. The city says it will cost about $330,000 to support the new routes.
Robbinsdale schools have started providing real-time information about your child's school bus. The MyStop app lets students and parents access live GPS information on their smartphones or computer. You'll be able to learn where your bus is and what time it'll arrive at your stop. The estimated time of arrival is updated every 30 seconds and takes traffic delays into account. The app could help keep students from waiting outside on cold days, and the system went live for Robbinsdale buses this week. Coming up on 12 News Weekend, how companies are turning to retirees to fight brain drain.
And then later in sports, Maple Grove and Eden Prairie need overtime to decide their boys' hoops battle.
But first, more Canadian cool air in the forecast. On Tuesday, temperatures may not reach double digits. There are shades of gray to a new study out on entrepreneurs.
A new Gallup study shows adults over age 50 are one of the fastest growing groups of entrepreneurs in the United States. 32% of baby boomers surveyed said they want to start businesses so they can live more independently. The study also says baby boomers are twice as likely as millennials to start a business in the next year. When an employee retires, there's a certain amount of knowledge that walks right out the door.
For businesses, it's of great concern with 10,000 baby boomers reaching retirement age every day. And as Alexandra Renslow reports, it's why some companies are taking action to hold off brain drain.
For 33 years, Dave Tobelman walked the halls of General Mills and helped develop new products as a senior research and development manager. And Tobelman loved his job.
You work with the best of the best. And that's probably the top thing that, you remember during your career.
After retiring in 2012 at age 57, this Plymouth resident knew he would volunteer and travel, but he also knew he would work.
I had always wanted to work part-time. I thought that would really be fun.
Now 59 years old, Tobelman is back at General Mills working about 20 hours a month, thanks to your Encore. It's a staffing firm that specializes in providing companies with experienced technical and business experts.
It's amazing the loss that's taking place at a lot of technically based companies.
Jim Kamen helps stave off that brain drain by placing workers with 25 years or more of experience in companies to work part-time. Kamen says experienced workers bring a perspective that can help younger employees avoid repeating company missteps.
Well, it's a tremendous sense of history and knowledge and enables those younger workers to accelerate that development or implementation that they're going after for the company.
Intellectually, it's still very stimulating. I mean, people have problems and there aren't simple answers.
For Dave Tobelman, the flexibility of working several hours each week at General Mills, consulting and providing historical background on different projects is a dream retirement job. The gig allows him time to volunteer hundreds of hours as a master naturalist at the University of Minnesota and also travel with his family, which puts Tobelman in the driver's seat of his retirement.
In addition to doing this work, I get to do a lot of other things that I'm interested in, and that's the kind of life I wanted.
The staffing firm mentioned in this story primarily places experienced workers in companies that represent consumer products and life science industries. Still ahead, a Maple Grove girls' lesson of spreading love to others.
But first, Osseo and Maple Grove battle in boys hockey. That's coming up in sports with Jay Wilcox.
Jay Wilcox now with sports. Some very exciting Maple Grove basketball. It helps add to the excitement when it gets into overtime.
Yeah, good playoff preparation, I think, too, for the teams involved, because it could come down to that when you get to section time. Maple Grove's boys basketball team has played well against a tough schedule this winter. The Crimson faced a very good test early in the week against Lake Conference team Eden Prairie. Brad Davison delivers a nice pass to Jack Hutchison on the baseline cut for 2. And Davison zips a pass underneath to Coyote Awashika for the hoop for the Crimson. But EP builds a lead. Ryan Jacobus shakes the defense and scores on a reverse layup for a 26-19 Eagles lead. Maple Grove chips away at that lead. Tywan Pickford drives with the left hand and then scores with the right. It's a 1-point Eden Prairie lead, though, at halftime. Second half goes back and forth. Josh Lanassa gets the fast break dunk for the Eagles. And Reed Nico answers with a dunk at the other end for the Crimson and a 47-40 lead. Eden Prairie uses the long ball to keep it close, though. Jacobus hits from way beyond the arc here. And this game goes to OT tied at 59. Pickford comes around the screen and hits the jumper for Maple Grove early in overtime. And Davison hits clutch free throws. Maple Grove wins this one 69-62. Wayzata's boys played at Totino-Grace earlier in the week. Troy Lawaji has it down low and kicks it out to Austin Slater for a 3. Wayzata jumps out to an 11-2 lead. Grace battles back, though. Edward Chamilo hits a tough baseline jumper. He provides instant offense off the bench for Grace. Rocky Cruiser buries a long 2, and the Eagles are back within 16-14, and they tie it up a few minutes later. But Wayzata heats up again. Brian Lindbergh nails a couple of big threes. Brian Schnettler's team is up 28-21 at halftime. After the Eagles close within 4, Wayzata puts it away. Jack Sawada sinks a 3 from the right side. Wayzata goes on to the win 64-51. It's playoff time in boys hockey, and district rivals Osseo and Maple Grove faced off before they get set to compete in Section 5AA. This one on the Crimson home ice. Josh Wente sends the pass up the boards to Sam Huff, who gets it to Josh Passel for the shot from the slot. Maple Grove takes a 1-0 lead after the opening period. Osseo plays them tough, though. Watch the tenacious work by Max Johnson as he gets away from a couple of defenders and sneaks a shot through. That ties it up 1-1 in the second. Maple Grove comes back, though. Gavin Miller's shot from the point will hit Matt Vogel in front and carry him in. The Crimson take a 2-1 lead. Osseo, though, answers on a power play one-timer from Ben Christofferson, and we're even up again at 2 apiece. Still in the second, though, and an Osseo turnover quickly turns into a 2-on-1 the other way. Passolt to Vogel, and then back to Passolt for a nice goal. That's a game winner. Maple Grove edges Osseo 4-2. Champlin Park needed overtime to beat Irondale in the Section 5AA girls hockey quarterfinals. That put the Rebels up against top seed Centennial in the semis. Less than a minute in the first period, Rebels goalie Hannah Gettle with a nice save here to keep this one scoreless. But the Cougars strike less than a minute into the second. Annika Linzer eludes 3 players and buries the shot for a shorthanded goal for the Cougars. Less than 2 minutes later, Linzer redirects a point shot for a Centennial power play goal, and it is 2-0. The third period, Linzer's shot is stopped by Gettle, but Gabby Hughes tucks in the rebound and Centennial wins 3-1. We'll have highlights of Wayzata's section final against Minnetonka starting Tuesday on our Sports Jam show. Robbinsdale rivals Armstrong and Cooper were matched up in an elimination match in the Section 6 3A wrestling tournament. 145, Armstrong's Zach Thorne tips Matthew Lohr to his back, and he'll get the pin just 44 seconds into the match, giving Armstrong a 21-18 lead. At 170, Armstrong's Brandon Lundeen locks on the cradle, and he gets the pin in the second period as the Falcons go up 39-18. Armstrong's Eddie Gonzalez is ranked 6th at 170. He moves up to 182 and gets the reversal on Cooper's Andrew Hansen, taking him to his back. Gonzalez gets a pin, pushing the Falcons' lead to 45-18. Armstrong wins 51-24 before falling in the quarterfinals. Section individual competition is next weekend. And playoff time, what seems like in just about every sport, is here now. It really gets going from now.
Very
Fast
exciting.
and furious for you guys.
That's right.
All right, thanks, Jay.
Thanks, Jay. Up next, a special Valentine's weekend treat.
How a girl known as Carly Valentine is bringing joy to others when we come back.
So how many people are on your Valentine's list?
Well, chances are it's nowhere near the number that's on one Maple Grove girls list. This weekend, we meet Carly Glomstad, also known as Carly Valentine, who hands out more than 600 Valentines each year.
You're gonna start here,
The best leaders,
and again, look at the tags,
no matter what age,
and then you'll come to this side.
know that to inspire,
What I would like you to do,
you need a bit of clarity
count carefully. We don't have any extra.
and a lot of gratitude.
I will be standing at the end of the table. I have a little something for all of you. You may begin.
For 10-year-old Carly Glomstad to play Cupid,
I have this project called Carly Valentine. I pack a bunch of goodie bags and bring them to assisted living homes and some nonprofit daycares and homeless shelters. Thank you for helping.
she inspires those around her
Thank you so much for helping.
to help.
Carly just wants to bring joy to everybody.
Thank you, Emma.
We really do see the difference that it makes, and so she's really taught us a lot about just giving back as well.
It's called Ruby Valentine and the Sweet Surprise.
A book started it all 7 years ago,
She planned Valentine's Day to perfection.
when Carly wasn't much older than the kids she's reading to today.
Valentine's Day is over, but we will never run out of love.
In the book, Ruby Valentine delivers to everybody in her town. Well, when we lived in Plymouth, we couldn't quite go to everybody in our town, so we really tried hard to think of people who might really appreciate a Valentine.
Here, guys.
This year, Carly and her family will deliver more than 600 Valentines. She'll see that excitement, that appreciation in the youngest of faces,
Thank you. You're welcome.
the ones who have a lifetime of love to look forward to. And Carly will also deliver to some of the oldest faces.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you so much, honey.
I get a lot of hugs.
Beautiful little girl.
Thank you.
The ones who have a lifetime of love
Happy Valentine's Day.
to remember. They anticipate a Valentine today
Have you been working on any puzzles recently?
from a little girl
There's the one way up in the corner up there.
The eagle?
The big eagle.
they've gotten to know.
I remember you telling me that last time.
Each year, Carly gives out more Valentines
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, thank you.
than she did the year before, finding renewed inspiration
I'll never forget you.
when her small gift touches the heart.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Carly sends letters to friends and family to collect donations for her project, and this year she brought in $4,200. And we didn't have time to tell it in the story, but some of those folks have pictures of her every year in their room bringing Valentines, so they remember her very well.
Well, it's all in the thought.
It is,
Yeah.
and it's a family endeavor. The whole family gets involved. Takes a family, takes a village, right? That's all the time we have for now. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again next week.